The Court of Public Opinion is a part of the Amateur Radio Network. Following this broadcast, the Moonlight Lounge will be on air, and you can listen to light jazz after this. I'm your host, Miss Deja Vu, and we're opening up the Court of Public Opinion to advertising. If you're interested in advertising to like-minded individuals, let us know. Go to the Court of Public Opinion or email us at mossyrosefield@gmail.com. Ask us about the custom advertising, things that we can do to improve your advertising and also get your business name on the street. They say word of mouth works. With advertising, it is word of mouth. I don't usually do that because I figured, it would take me a long time to get a sales team together and put a company together, and I can't do that. We're just amateurs here. We do need to see some kind of income coming in, and we don't want to close the door. So this is the last-dish effort for us at the Court of Public Opinion. We want to keep our radio show going, and maybe, surprisingly, we may even have some guests at some point. Our audio and our equipment, that's one of the things when we put our work and our money into this, we see improvements. And I've spent countless hours putting this show together, just the backdrop and trying to do live shows and trying to do promotions and demos and etc. And I just want you to know a little bit about me and about the Court of Public Opinion, because it is important. You want to know what you're talking about. You want to know more about the show. And I think it's better to tell you about the background and the backdrop of the Court of Public Opinion. My grandfather was an attorney for the Pittsburgh Police. My uncle was an attorney. And, of course, I did not finish law school. I was going to take my LSATs. Instead, I decided to take to the airwaves and talk about legal stuff, but that wasn't really what I wanted to do either. Not only did I learn about radio, I was a radio host for WAMO in Pittsburgh at 105.9 FM, and also a radio host at WGIV at 103.3 FM. So you know that I have a little bit of experience. And again, advertising, it does help. It does help you get your brand out. When you have a target audience that you're looking at, and you definitely could see a difference in maybe just getting back to business. And ask about the custom advertising. That's something that we're working on with another printing company, and doing custom advertising here through a webcast. It's, again, going to be an interesting journey that we're on. But before that, we want to make sure we have our FBI warning that we are not making a profit from anything that we're doing here. Now, normally, once we start trying to improve revenue at some point, but right now, we are going to open it up for advertising, and eventually we will be able to make a living. I hope so. For now, though, this is about the story of the Court of Public Opinion. About 14 years ago, I was sitting in my living room, and I was married, and I didn't really have a future, and I really wanted to grasp on to something. Like, I thought that there's something tangible. And this is before iPads, this is before the iPhone, this is before all that. And I had a vision of this being a mobile broadcast, and it became that, and it is, and it's accomplished that. And the backdrop is that we created a live studio in my kitchen, and it became the Domestic Diva show. Right about that time, I went up to New York, and I had a prospective, let's just say pilot show, that if I would come up with $8,000, I would have basically had my own talk show. Well, that didn't happen, and it could happen, believe me, but it just didn't happen at that time. So I continued with all the other stuff. I dumped a bunch of the work I did, and it's not because I didn't want to keep it. It's just the only thing that could survive would be one show. And I picked the Court of Public Opinion. I do field reports, I do assignments, I do things like that from time to time. But basically, the Court of Public Opinion is the only talk show segment that I really carried through the 14 years because I had gone through a divorce. I had been diagnosed with a tumor, and I wanted to keep this broadcast going, and I still do. So at the end of this broadcast, we're going to go into the Moonlight Lounge. I don't advertise that, but it's only because it would take a lot of work and time, and we just do the Moonlight Jazz and morph it right into the show. What I wanted to talk to you about is some of the topics like tonight. If you hadn't heard, there was possibly an EMP attack on the hospitals nationwide. The 911 system went down. There's a possibility. No one really has made a determination about this, and it's a story that I was listening to on YouTube, so I got to make sure I get the confirmation on this report. But if you heard of any of this happening in the 911 system going down, let us know. I mean, again, it was a story that I listened to. Chelsea, who is a girl that I've been watching on YouTube, she seems very reliable. Again, I don't know if that report is confirmed, but there has been some reports about outages, and there are a couple things that I want to take away from that topic so that you don't think I'm just reporting it because some girl on Chelsea on YouTube said so. I'm just saying that we get a lot of our news from each other, and that's what social media has taught me, that we have learned to rely more on each other for topics, news, etc., etc. And, that doesn't mean that you throw away all the media out there but, well, then again, depending on what they're talking about, we know that the media is not friendly to President Trump. So it's been a little bit difficult to get accurate news, okay? And we are concerned that if we don't get accurate news, we're going to get it from each other, or you can pick and choose. And nowadays, because of social media, you can. And that was really what we didn't know about social media, okay? This was 14 years ago, okay? But what it's become is bigger than what I thought. It wasn't what I was expecting. And so we made the changes, and we're hoping that we can do topics that are, well, let's just say I might not know a lot about the topic, but maybe my guests will, okay? And hopefully by doing that, and I wanted to emphasize on that report earlier because we did that channel update just short time ago. Advertising. Okay, like I haven't really done anything like that, but I'm giving you guys, some to move in and make a living. The thing about making a living is that it's changing because of the retail business, and mostly people put memes together so we can put it on the news feed. Instead of just talking about things, we could create memes or get people to help us do this and improvement. That's what I'm talking about, is custom advertising, because that is advertising, and that is what the future is. It's going to be basically storyboards on social media. So that's what I mean by custom advertising and storyboards. And I want to make sure that you know that that's kind of the future for what we're doing, because this may be the last broadcast. I mean, if I don't get a broadcast advertising opportunity, I'm out, So we put a lot together. But, the thing is about what I have done in the last 14 years is that I haven't had a lot of money. And I still managed to keep it together. So we don't have a radio station, or we don't have any like place where we blog. We don't have thousands and thousands of subscribers. We only have a short group. So I look at small is okay. For now, it's got to be okay because it is that way. And our talk segments, while I don't want to minimize the topics, because I don't know a lot about some of the topics that might be presented to me, I'm willing to try and open it up to a talk segment on BTR. I don't know, or I might partner up with somebody. So the future for the Court of Public Opinion is still there. It is our 14th anniversary, October 17th, 2020. And I advertised it wrong. I was sitting there talking about advertising. I've advertised our birthday because I put October 17th, 2020 is our 13th anniversary, which is not true. We turned 14 years old on October 17th. Okay, so I know we got to wrap up the segment here. I wanted to just touch base and tell you a little bit of the story about the Court of Public Opinion, and want you to, tell me what topics you'd like to hear about. If you don't know how to get a hold of me, I put myself out there a little bit because I know that free speech is being compromised. And one of the things that we did over the summer is wanting to talk about the Constitution and how positive that is. So we're going to stick with those type of topics that are positive for our target audience. Thank you again for listening to the Court of Public Opinion. Again, my name is Miss Deja Vu. I got that name at 103.3 FM in Charlotte, and I'm going to stick with it. And we call it Miss DJ, but I could play music and all the other great stuff. But I want to thank you again for listening to our broadcast. The Court of Public Opinion is a part of the Amateur Radio Network.